Hello, everybody. How you all doing? So, things just get stranger and stranger, don't they, over this whole situation with the Reform Party? Hey, Jack, how you doing? I'll look at some of the comments for a start. Well, that didn't last long. Probably Nigel couldn't scrape together the 200k to buy his bum boy out. Oh, we'll get into that, don't you worry. I've got some information on why he's probably done all of this in a minute, and it's going to be very, very telling. Very interesting. I'm just sorting things out. Let's get rid of that. Sorry, Jack. There we go. I couldn't care less either way. To be honest with you, neither could I. I think all this situation now just tells me that the Reform Party is done. It's done. And anybody that still follows the Reform Party now is just deluded. Obviously, June Slater came out and gave her usual bad take on everything. I'll get to that in a bit as well. But obviously, for people that don't know, that are coming to the live stream, Zia Yusuf has returned to the Reform Party after just 48 hours of resigning from the party. Now, there's been lots of speculation as to why this happened. This from Nigel Farage after he resigned is interesting. Just going to get on with the video. I'll have a look at comments in a minute. I'm just going to try and get this out of the way. I will look at comments in a bit. So, according to senior Reform insiders, Farage arrived at party's central offices the following day dispirited, confiding in one political colleague that he had lost a political limb. Well, hours later, Yusuf messaged him seeking to reconcile, and they held extensive talks that afternoon. Again, interesting. But it's this from Dan Wootton that really got my interest. So Dan Wootton says this. So this person, this Tim Monter, whatever his name is, this now can be seen to be the nonsense it always was, right? So this is what Dan Wootton had to say. None of it was nonsense, Tim. Nigel Farage was telling senior Reform figures before the local elections that he wanted Zia Yusuf gone within months. He got his way. Both Alex Phillips and Isabel Oakeshott report on Thursday that there had been problems behind the scenes for a long time with Yusuf. Was that nonsense too? This is damage control after Yusuf threatened via Andrew Pierce and the Daily Mail to go public with his various grievances. So to me, this suggests that Zia Yusuf has definitely got dirt on Nigel Farage, maybe on other people within the party too. And this is something they don't want to happen. So like Dan Wootton says, this is just damage control. They've had to take him back because they know as a loose cannon, he's a liability to the Reform Party. He's a liability to the Reform Party anyway. The party is an absolute joke. It's a joke. It really is. And anybody, like I said, anybody that still feels that this party is going to save this country is just deluded. They really are deluded. I went over this the other day. Richard Tice's car crash interview with Stephen Edrington, where he basically said he didn't care about what happened to the country in 40 years' time. He doesn't care about our children's futures, which is political suicide for a political party, really, isn't it? Because like Carl Benjamin said, political parties are the custodians of the country's future. They're there to ensure that we have a continuation of our way of life. And Richard Tice isn't interested in that. He doesn't care about demographic change. Nigel Farage doesn't care about demographic change, isn't bothered. Nigel Farage said that he wasn't interested, and it wasn't his political ambition to deport all the illegal immigrants in this country. Did a U-turn just before the local elections and then delivered nothing, delivered no policy on how he was going to deliver, deport all the illegal immigrants. They're a complete illusion of a party. And the weird thing about all of this is they're acting like actors on a stage. Like, when an actor forgets their lines and the rest of them just carry on as if nothing's happened. That's exactly what the Reform Party is doing. At the minute, they're just like carrying like nothing's happened. Like there hasn't been any of these massive controversies with the party. It's just weird. The whole situation with these people is just weird. It's strange. And I just don't get it. I don't understand it. And they've got over, was it 300,000 subscribers to the party? I don't for 1 minute believe they've got that many, to be honest with you. I've been watching on X that lots of people have cancelled their subscriptions, but money is still going out of their account. So I don't think they've got half the subscribers that they claim they have now. I think lots of people have unsubscribed from the Reform Party. And it's basically, it's just, it doesn't make any sense, doesn't it? Right, I'll look at some of the comments. If this was the mob, Zia would have invited back and given a pair of concrete boats. Yeah, Steve, yeah. Native rights matter. We ain't bad folk. No, we're not. The Reform Party just doesn't seem to care about us, though. Israel is the reason we have massive... Oh, here we go again. No, it's not. Right. So, while everybody's talking, obviously Rupert Lowe's come out and said that he's working on an alternative to the Reform Party. And that's fair enough, but it's not here yet, is it? And to be honest with you, it might never happen. It could never happen. And I think we just have to be ready, prepared for a backup party and get behind a backup party. And to me, that party, for the time being, is UKIP. Because while all these people are running around, while the Reform's just basically a clown show, you've got Nick Tenone in Calais stopping illegal immigrants physically coming to this country. He's doing that himself. And as you can see here, this is what he's doing out in Calais. Are you fed up of being called racist for wanting border control? Help us stand up to the far left traitors. He's out in Calais now, and he's been reporting on it all day. He's been physically stopping them. He's been confronting the people trying to get into our country, getting their faces on camera, and said that he's going to, give them to the border force. And he's been turning people away. Now, some of you might say, "Oh, it's just a politician." But this guy, wherever there has been action, he's been on the front lines. I watched him during the summer riots last year. He was in Plymouth. He was right on the front line, getting bricks chucked at him, just like everybody else was. This is why I respect him. This is why he's got my respect, because he's not all words. He backs up what he says with actual action. And that's what we need in leadership. I know some of you in the chat will disagree. Some of you are going to disagree. But this is what real leadership actually looks like. Nick Tenone. This is it. This is what we need. And our political leaders need to look at this guy and say, yeah, this is what we need to aspire to. This is what we need to do to get the people behind us. Because look at the political class. What has happened to us for decades? What have they done for us? Nothing. They've lied to us. They've said they're going to do things, then never followed through on any of it. Well, here we've got a guy who is just doing everything that he says he's going to do. He's on the front line. He's putting himself at risk. And I respect that. I respect that in a leader. Because leaders don't lead from the rear. They lead from the front. And Nick Tenone leads from the front. Our politicians need to realise we're in a different age now. A lot of them turn their noses up at grassroots street protesting, but that's where it is. That's where you're going to earn the respect of the people. If you stand shoulder to shoulder with them, on the front line, fighting for their rights along with them, you will earn their respect. And I know a lot of people probably disagree with that. You probably think the old system is the way to go. It's broken. It's completely and utterly broken. I can't see a way out of this unless we get behind people like Nick Tenone. And if Ben Habib and Rupert Lowe have got any brains in their body, they will understand that they need to embrace these people and get behind the grassroots protesters. Because if they don't, if they turn their noses up at the grassroots protesters like Nigel Farage and Richard Tice have done, then they're going to go nowhere either. It's as simple as that. It really is. Because I am sick and tired of all this talk. Reform is just all talk, and I'm tired of it. They're all talk and no action. They say they're going to deliver things, and then they deliver nothing. We've had that for decades. They're nothing new. They're absolutely nothing new. And the Farages are going to hate this, but I don't care because they're deluded. I actually fired shots across June Slater's bow today because she came out with the worst take possible on this. And I know I'm preaching to the choir on this, but let's go and have a look at what June Slater had to say on this, because it was like, and then I had to get the sick bag out because it was just gushing. It was just sickly and just, I couldn't believe it. This is what she put on X. Zia is coming back to run Doge. This is excellent news because his skillful team comes with him. She's absolutely delusional, this woman. Absolutely delusional. All objectivity, all critical thinking has gone out of the window with her. It really has. Anybody who listens to this woman about anything regarding the Reform Party is deluded. Along with her, they're deluded completely and utterly. And she this was her take on it. This was her take on it. So this lady here called Elaine put flip-flops like Farage, not a good look, talking about Zia Yusuf. June Slater posted this as a response to her. Wrong. The right-wing attackers with their insults are what, I think that says wore him down, but she spelled it wrong, but doesn't matter. Wore him down. He's worked 11-hour days, 7 days a week, and that's rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. Rubbish. A week for free. For free. For free. Right, okay, whatever. And nobody at his level does that. Dodge is his creation, and his team is it's marvelous news. And he endorses Sarah's statement about ban the burqa. That's another thing as well, right? 1 minute he's totally against and is calling Sarah Pochin's question to the Prime Minister dumb, and the next minute he's supporting what she says. It's just bollocks, and they think we're stupid as well. They think we're stupid, that we won't see through this, that we won't see through the facade that is the Reform Party. I've been watching X all day. Everybody's saying the same thing. The Reform Party is done. They're done. It's over for them. They can't keep coming back from this, because how can you go to Parliament and claim to be a force for change when your own party is in absolute chaos? And it's in absolute chaos. That they put on this facade for the public eye and stuff like that, but behind the scenes, it's all falling apart. Absolutely falling apart. We're in so much trouble. We are in so much trouble unless we get behind a party, and we've got to decide soon. So Rupert Lowe needs to get his finger out, and when he and this is to Ben Habib as well, because Ben Habib came up with this classic, and it's getting all egotistical again. He said that he wouldn't allow anybody in his party who was basically a part of another political party. Well, you need to form alliances, Ben. That's the whole thing. Learn from the mistakes of the Reform Party. You need to form alliances with people like Nick Tenone. You really do. You need to help each other out. It's not about one singular party anymore. You've got to form alliances and help each other out. That's the only way you're going to get through this. You need allies. You need allies. Nick Tenone, great on the grassroots side of things. Tommy Robinson, great at getting the people out on the streets. You need that. And Reform doesn't want it. You've got an advantage over Reform in that regard, because you can take full advantage of all of this to boost your new party. And you need to form an alliance with UKIP. You really do. You either need to absorb UKIP into get Nick Tenone to come on board with a new party, or have an alliance with him. We don't need egos anymore. This country needs saving. And I've said this today as well. If this country is going to be saved, it's not going to be saved in one term of government. It's not. You need consecutive right-wing governments to turn this country around. Because the minute you get some wishy-washy government in, they'll just undo everything that this alliance has done. There needs to be real change in this country, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen without alliances being formed. That's the one thing that worries me about Ben Habib. He does seem to be very singular-minded, and he's very much of the same doctrine that Farage is, that they're a bit, standoffish about the grassroots people on the ground. Ben Habib and Rupert Lowe need to get themselves down to London and support Tommy Robinson's Unite the Kingdom rally in September. They need to be on stage making speeches, talking to the people, something that Nigel Farage and the rest of them refused to do. That's what they need to do. They need to get behind Nick Tenone when he's out on the streets protesting about deportations. They need to get behind him on that. That's what they need to do. That's what needs to happen. And those people within that are just a distraction. There's a distraction within the right-wing movement that keep going on about Israel and all this bollocks. I don't give a shit about Israel. I don't care about Palestine. All I care about is getting my country back. That's all I'm focused on. So you've got this hard-on for Israel and all this bollocks about, oh, Israel's evil. Fair enough. Go and do that. But the rest of us want to get our country back. And that's just a distraction. Everything else is just a distraction. I've seen people talking about, we've got to be singular in this. We really have. We've got to be singular-minded and focus on the battle ahead. You can't win a war if you're just trying to fight a war on multiple fronts. People keep getting distracted by net zero. People keep getting distracted by identity politics. That's all just a distraction. The real focus is getting our country back. That's it. I don't give a shit about the far right. If they want to toss it off, getting hard-ons about how they think evil Jews are going to come after them and kill them, fair enough. Go and do that somewhere else. I'm not interested. I don't care. I really don't care. I just want as an Englishman, I just want my country back now. That's what I want. Everything else is just a distraction. It really is. I get so sick and tired of all this division and this division with stupid nonsense. Some people claim to think, oh, we want our country back. Well, it just annoys me so much. So look at some of the comments. So that's my solution. People keep coming to me and saying, what's the solution? What's the alternative? And people keep saying that UKIP is a dead party. Well, it wouldn't be a dead party if you got behind it, would it? That's my point. They keep like, oh, it's a dead party. It's not going to do anything. It won't do anything unless it gets support. That's the whole point. Look at Reform. People were saying it will go nowhere. The Tories were saying it'll go nowhere because it's got no support. Then all of a sudden it got a massive boost with support, and it's polling above Labour and the Tories. That can be UKIP if everybody that supports Reform, who thinks that they are going to save this country, got behind UKIP would be polling up there as well. Give them a party. This is what I said, Alex. Right? UKIP, not a dead party, it just needs rebranding. Exactly. They need to get rid of that shitty pound sign flag. Get rid of that because that's got Farage's fingertips all over it. What they need to do is have the Union Jack with UKIP in the middle of it. That's it. The proper Union Jack colours with UKIP in the middle of it. Get rid of all this purple shit because that's Farage. That's all Farage. Get rid of all that. Rebrand. Still call themselves UKIP because you can still be the UK Independence Party because Brexit wasn't done. That's still relevant. But yeah, just rebrand themselves and distance themselves from Nigel Farage. That's what they need to do. Well, that's the point. I want a political party with no Muslims in it. If that makes racist, so be it. It's not racist because Muslims aren't a race. They're not a race. So no, it's not racist at all. Apparently, Zia Yusuf was planning to bring in thousands of Muslim candidates into the Reform Party. So that tells you everything you need to know about Zia Yusuf, doesn't it? To be honest with you, all it needs to be is something patriotic. Yeah, it just needs to be patriotic so everybody can get behind it. Saying you don't care about the Zionists and their involvement in your issues is like saying I don't give a shit. All right, I don't give a shit about the Israel-Palestine conflict. I don't care. I really don't care anymore. I talk about it on X. That's where I talk about it. I don't talk about it on my channel because this channel, its sole focus is to get this country back. That's what I want. Now you can get distracted by talking about the Israel subject all you like, but it won't happen on this channel. I don't care. I don't care about foreign wars. I don't care about the war with Russia and Ukraine. I really don't. Only when Keir Starmer decides to put a big target on top of this country. That's the only time I care about it. It really is. And the billions of pounds of our taxpayer money that's going to fund a war that we shouldn't even be involved in. That's what annoys me. Jesus Christ. You know, our country's being destroyed and all these people can, oh God. It's like herding crazy cats, it really is. People are just so stuck in petty differences that they don't realise we all need to come together and fight this common enemy that is wrecking our country. In the meantime, we're talking about all these bullshit comments, situations, and our country is just being destroyed. Let's have a look. What's all this about, Jack? Did you see what I said earlier in the comments about Richard Inman? No, I didn't. You'll have to repeat it, mate. I can't. The chat's going that fast that I can't keep up with things like that. So just repeat it and I'll read it out. Exactly. We've got to start this petty bullshit infighting crap and just come together. But we've got to all agree, right, that the Reform Party isn't the answer. We know it's not the answer. You just got to look at what they're doing, their actions. I don't believe a word they say anymore. You know, if they told me the sky was blue, I would question it now. That's about how much I believe in the Reform Party. Country is being destroyed by Israel. Plan of mass immigration into Europe. Oh, God. Does it matter where it's coming from or who's causing it? We just need to stop it, don't we? Yeah. Fucking hell. GB first, exactly. Israel and Palestine has nothing to do with this country. Meanwhile, they can't look at the own demographic downfall that's happening before their very eyes. Exactly. We need to concentrate on this country. And the way we do that is we draw their attention back to this country. If we keep getting distracted by the things they want us to get distracted by, they'll keep pulling the conversation toward what they want it to be. They want it to be about Israel and Palestine, to distract you away from what's happening in this country. That's what they do it for. It's all distraction. Or I don't watch the news. I don't watch any news anymore now. I stopped years ago because it's all just bollocks. Wars in the Middle East equal immigration into Europe. Yes. What's it? Richard needs to stop praising the Tories. Right, you know what? I stopped watching Richard Inman. I stopped watching Paul Thorpe. I stopped watching all that crowd, really. I think, I didn't understand this at the time, but Active Patriot once posted that he likes Tommy Robinson. He's just not so keen on his team. And I'm kind of starting to understand why. I really am. Because some of them are just too soft, too wishy-washy for my liking. Some of them are just as weak as the Reform Party, to be honest with you. They flip-flop about on things. So early today, I'll get onto this as well. Early today, we'll put this back up. So people come in, they know what's happened. Right, so early today, I did a video about prevent posting on their website that one of the three main reasons people are terrorists, or it was a definition of people who were right-wing terrorists, were people who were concerned that mass immigration was changing the West and that immigrants weren't integrating, when that's demonstrably provable. That's true. This mass influx of legal and illegal migrants is changing the face of the West. You've only got to look at our own country. You've only got to look at Birmingham, Bradford, London, Leicestershire, all the places where the grooming gangs took place. These places are no longer safe. And this is because we have large groups of immigrants that refuse to integrate into our society. They brought their own culture with them. They set up little colonies in our towns and cities. They're slowly taking them over and they refuse to integrate. And now it's suggested that in 40 years, we're going to be a minority in our own country. But you're a terrorist if you dare to say that that is a factual thing. Now, I made a video about this. Now, there was some controversy over whether this was real or whether it was fake. Paz49 came out on Twitter and said it was fake. So I took the video down just in case. But sources that I've verified, I mean, it's been on GB News, it's been on Talk TV. So I don't understand how it's fake. And people have actually linked to it now. So I think probably tomorrow I'll reinstate that video. I'll re-upload it. But yeah, love at some of the comments. I remember I was watching one of Paul Thorpe's live streams and I noticed that he attacked you because the videos you made about him calling for people to unite don't understand why he went after you. Yeah, he did it in a roundabout way, though. He did it in a roundabout way. He didn't mention my name. He didn't mention my name or anything like that, but I knew he was talking about me. See, I'm not like that. If I'm going to talk about something, I'll just do it to their face. And that's it. But yeah. See, I'm just like looking at some of the comments now. So give me your opinions and I'll read some of your comments out. True, Rupert does like to copy and paste his talking points with every question in each interview. Yeah, he needs to start to think out the box a little bit with things. Hang on. It's one here. I think Rupert Lowe can save the Conservative Party. Ben Knox should resign. If Rupert Lowe joins the Conservative Party, he's finished. He'll lose all credibility. He'll lose all credibility with me anyway. He really will. Because the Conservative Party is done. The Labour Party is done. They really are. They're done. That's why we need an alternative party. We need a party that is really going to change this country. And the Reform Party aren't going to do that. They're not. They're not going to do it. They're just so weak. They're just so weak. And I'm just tired of having this argument with the Farages. It's just like look at how high they're polling in the opinion polls, and it's like we're 4 years away from the general election. It means nothing. It means nothing. And the thing, I've said this before, right? The thing about opinion polls is that you can present me with an opinion poll that favours your position, and then I can go out and find an opinion poll that favours my position, that trumps your opinion poll. They're meaningless. They really are meaningless. Unless it's 2 days before the general election and you're looking at probably betting shop odds rather than the opinion polls on who's going to win, then you haven't got a clue. It's 4 years out. 4 years is a very long time in the political landscape. Anything can happen. It really can in 4 years. So just because they're polling really well now doesn't mean they're going to be polling really well 4 years from now. I mean, at the minute, people have said this, the Reform Party is riding a wave of desperation. They really are. Both of the main political parties are collapsing. So people are desperate and they're shifting to the only alternative that they think is out there, and that's the Reform Party. The Reform Party's got these big neon lights flashing, saying, look at us, and saying all the right things. And people are so desperate, they're going to go and believe them. I know it's all bullshit. You know it's all bullshit. But when people are desperate, they will cling on to anything to try and stay afloat. And that's what's happening with the Reform Party. Now, over 4 years, that wave of desperation is going to start to dissipate. And you're going to see them start to drop in the polls again. That's what's going to happen. So I don't believe any of the polls at the minute. It's bullshit. And as for the Homeland Party, I'm sorry, I'm tempted by the Homeland Party, but they got infiltrated, apparently. They got infiltrated by other groups. I think it was Hope Not Hate have infiltrated the Homeland Party, from what I heard. The whole system is bent as fuck, needs dismantling, not reforming. Exactly. You need somebody that's going to go in there with a wrecking ball and just take it to the whole system. And who has got the personality to do that? Who's out on the front line? Tackling these people head on. He's not talking about it, he's doing it. It's this guy here. I know I keep bringing it up, but it's true. He's on the front line. He's not just sat in some office making an interview or talking online on a podcast. He's out there, boots on the ground, facing off against these people. In Cali. He's in Cali at the minute. He's facing off against these illegal immigrants that are coming into our country. And that's a political leader. That is a leader, not just a political leader. He is a leader of men. And that's what we need. You know, what we looked at that when I was out in Iraq, we had leaders of men. I was a leader of men. So I recognized the qualities. It's no good just standing there and shouting at people and telling them what to do. That you've got to inspire them. You've got to say, right, look at me. I'm doing the job that I'm telling you to do. You've got to be prepared to do the job that you want others to do. Otherwise, you'll never earn the respect or the trust. And that's what Nick Tenone does. He's earned my trust. It doesn't matter what any of the other politicians say. They can say anything they like. I keep saying this. It's their actions that convince me that they're the people who they say they are. And Nick Tenone has done that. There's a guy on YouTube called DJE Media, right? He was filming the riots from last year. Nick Tenone is there right at the side, getting bricks chucked at his head with his megaphone, shouting at the far left and giving it back to him. Would you see Rupert Lowe, and I know everybody likes Rupert Lowe, but would you see Rupert Lowe, Ben Habib, or Nigel Farage doing that, standing toe to toe with the people of this country, giving the far left shit back? Would you? Would you honestly see that? This is what I mean. This is a different age. This isn't like politics was about 30 or 40 years ago. It's not. It's completely changed. People want hope. People want true leadership. And Nick Tenone, that's the guy. I'm sorry, but it is. I know it's a hard, bitter pill to swallow, but he's the only one showing actual leadership. When your country's at war, you need a wartime leader. You need somebody who understands it, who's on the ground. And we are at war. Whether you like it or not, we're at war. We are at war. We're at war to try and save this country's culture, its heritage, and its legacy. And that is slowly slipping away. And while ever we're like trying to put our faith into Reform Party or discussing what they're doing or what they're not doing, it's just a distraction. It's just a distraction now, as far as I'm concerned. I don't trust a word that comes out of Nigel Farage's mouth, or Richard Tice, or any of them. In fact, if you're sat in Parliament, I don't trust you. You know, I know there's 4 years. There's 4 years till the next general election. I honestly don't think that this government is going to last that long. They're not going to last another 4 years. It's going to collapse. Look what happened in, was it the Dutch Parliament? Dutch Parliament collapsed. The government collapsed because of mass, uncontrolled, illegal immigration. And the same thing's going to happen in this country. They're losing control of the towns and cities. They're getting more and more violent. Starmer hasn't got it in him to do what needs to be done. Eventually, people are going to lose faith. And I said this in a comment on X, right? And this is what I truly believe. People are going to start to come to the conclusion that they realise that the government can't protect them, that the police can't protect them, that the institutions, the judiciary won't protect them. It's not that they can't, they won't protect them. So what will happen? They'll turn away from those people and they'll start to look for people who will protect them. And that's when real change will come in this country, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because we know we've got professors, we've got people, big name people saying, yeah, we really are heading towards civil war in this country. Look at Ireland, the Irish. They are literally on the brink of civil war over there. They're at breaking point. They've reached their breaking point. And if you want to see what's going to happen in this country, just look at Ireland. Just take a look at Ireland as a snapshot of what's going to happen here, probably in the next couple of years. And there you go. That's what's going to happen here. I really want there to be a political solution, and I hope that it is Nick Tenone. But the way things are going, we're not going to last 4 years. Things are going to get so bad in this country. It's not going to last that long. The streets are violent. The streets are violent. People are scared. It's just crazy. Yeah, I watched that. Yeah, the Irish were kicking off. I saw early today. Yeah, they've had enough. They've reached their breaking point. The government isn't listening to them. The Garda is just brutal with them, protecting strangers from the natives instead of the other way around. It's crazy. It's crazy time. They probably do, Martin. But the thing is, be careful what you wish for, because these people are so out of touch with the people of this country. They probably think, oh, we can get it under control. We can get it under control. They're wrong. They're very, very wrong. They haven't got a clue how angry people are in this country. They just don't know, because they're not us. They don't live our lives. They haven't got a clue. Have you seen what I said about getting rid of the Tories earlier in the comments? No, Jack, I didn't. Yeah, and when that day does happen, we're going to have a coalition of governments and coalition talk that. I don't know what that's doing. Right, guys, I'm going to finish this one early. I've said all I've got to say. I'm all talked out, to be honest with you. I'm all talked out. So, yeah, just something for you all to think about, really, isn't it? Hang on, I'll just have a look at a few more of these comments are starting to come in now. It seems to shoot in really quick. UKIP are tainted brand. Tenone is not attracting the level of interest that Rupert Lowe is. He'd make a good Home Secretary under Lowe government, not PM material. I totally disagree with that. I think he makes the perfect Prime Minister material. You need somebody like him. You need a Prime Minister for the situation that you're in. You don't need a Prime Minister that is of the old school, like Nigel Farage, who's still living way back in the 90s, who still thinks the country is like the 1990s. It's not. It's not like that at all. You need something new. You need somebody that's going to go in there like a wrecking ball and just bring the establishment down. I don't think Rupert Lowe's got the experience, to be honest with you, to do it. That's why they need to form an alliance. Thing is, we can all disagree about who should be the leader and who shouldn't be a leader. That's beside the point. I think we all can agree is that we need something different, and reform isn't it. Reform definitely 100% isn't the party that's going to save this country. And if there's anything you can take away from this live stream, it's that. The Reform Party is not going to save this country. Nigel Farage is not this country's saviour. None of them are, as far as I'm concerned. Right, guys, I'm going to end it here. If you want to carry on the conversation in the comments under the live stream, by all means, be my guest. I'm going to end the live stream here, and I shall see you all in the next video. This is Vindicator, signing off.